presenter invites you to do so. Refrain from talking during the presentation. Do not eat during the presentation. Do not leave during the presentation. Please put the chairs back into rows as you leave. Keep in mind, if you'd like to vote for this project for Best Senior Project, you can see the yellow flyers out in the hallways. Once the presentation is over, please get your passport stamped and exit the room quietly and in a timely manner so the panel members can assess the presentation using the rubric. Please be respectful of your classmates. Other presentations may still be going on, so please be quiet in the hallways. Any questions?
Hi everyone, I'm Emily Sievers, for all of you who don't know me. My senior project, I did self-love through portraiture. So a little bit about me. In this picture right here, this is me and my family in Hawaii. I have a mom, a dad, 2 older brothers who already graduated college, and I have 3 dogs, 3 standard poodles, Luna, Coco, and Riley. I also have a cat named Cooper. And I'm gonna attend Wentworth Institute of Technology next year, and I'm gonna be in mechanical engineering. So why did I do this project? So ever since I was little, I've always loved drawing. I love to draw cartoons, like TV shows I see as a little kid. I like Japanese style cartoons, like anime. So I draw that all the time. These drawings down on the bottom left, I did a while ago. The one on the very left of the figure I did earlier this year, and the one to the right of that I did about 4 years ago. So this picture right here is a special one. It's kind of like the birthplace of this whole senior project. So this dates back to December 6, 2018, where I just wanted to give one of my friends just a nice birthday gift. So I just drew a picture of her and just copied it and gave it to her the next day, and she loved it so much, and I just love the feeling of giving people something from me, like something that I can draw. So this is where it all started. So for my senior project, my EQ is how does one promote self-love through art? And my sub-EQs are how does one capture someone's personality and the characteristics on paper through drawing. My second EQ is what were the people's reactions to receiving their portrait. And my last EQ is there's a great benefit to having an interest, a passion, or a hobby, and how does it help us shape who we are and lead to our self-discovery. So my AOK, as you can see, is just drawing portraits of people. But there's like a little process that I go through, so I'll just ask my friends in school or whatever, hey, do you want to feature my senior project? So if they say yes, they'll send me a photo of them, and I try to copy the photo the best I can. It's never always exact, but I try to get certain features down. So I listed all these in chronological order from December to February 1st. During this phase, it was kind of like my art skills kind of stayed constant, not much happened. So basically what I do is I start off with a little pencil sketch just to get the basis of the features down, the proportions correct. But then I get just a random pen and I just try to outline certain features and really make it look finished. And then to add a little spice, to flare it up a bit, I just get a colored pencil and just shade the background. So that's basically it. Another thing about this is because my senior project includes other people in it, I also have an Instagram page I'll be talking about later. I'll post these images on Instagram, but the thing is my Instagram account is public and I'm tagging people on a public account, so that means strangers from different places all over the world can just click on the tag and see who I drew. So for privacy reasons, I had to ask everyone that I did portraits of to send me a verification email saying that it's okay for me to use them in my senior project and they're okay to be tagged in a source like Instagram. So my outside expert is Mike Lovell, who's here right today. A little thing about me is that I've skied ever since I was little, ever since I was a little toddler. I could walk, so my parents were like, oh, she can walk, she can ski, so I'll just put her on skis. So I've been skiing for a long time, and I joined the Sunapee freestyle team when I was around 10 or 11. So I've been doing that for a while. I just had my last year this year. So otherwise, being a great coach and a hilarious storyteller, he tells funny stories. He's also an artist, and he's a professor at Colby Sawyer College. So what he does, he works in the theaters and art center. He builds like props and the background sets for the staging. And I asked him to be my senior project mentor because I see him every weekend in the winter, and he lives right down the road from my other house in Sunapee. So basically what he did during the time of my senior project, he just gave me like feedback, or basic feedback, saying like, oh, I like the hair, I like the eyes, or he likes the backgrounds. But there was this one time where he gave me this email. It was a very detailed email. It was like 2 pages. It was very analytical, and he talked about different aspects of my drawing that he liked. And one of the things that really got to me was the way I incorporated background into my drawing. So this drawing here was me after I took his advice. So you might not be able to see it very clearly, but what I did is I put a red colored pencil, like lightly shaded over the actual pen drawing to make the background and the subject of the portrait to look more unified. Because if you look back on the ones on the 3 left, especially the one on the very left, like I liked it, but there's something off about the background and how the picture of the person matched. Like it didn't look like it belonged together, because it looks like you have 2 separate mediums, colored pencil and the pen, so it doesn't look as unified as when I combined them together. So that was like a huge change. It was small, but it changed a lot. So my second, or my sub-EQ number 1 is the portraiture aspect. So it's about how to capture one's essence, their personality, and their characteristics on paper. So these are the 2 pictures of my friends Grace and Aubrey. So as you can see, I didn't draw it to make it look exactly like them, whether it's based on my artistic skill or whether I wanted to add some flavor to it to really make it more like it was for me. Like as you can see, I do completely different backgrounds. Like the girl on the left, I did just a simple background with like leaves and trees. Because when I think of my friend Grace, I always think of like nature or something like flowery. So I thought it'd be a good idea to do something like leaves in the background. And then the one on the right was Aubrey. There wasn't really much inspiration. I just thought the design looked cool. And the backgrounds do so much. It makes so much of a difference. Like if you saw the drawing of this girl right here without the background, it wouldn't be nearly as it wouldn't be nearly as pretty. So this is about my Instagram account. It's called Sketchy Sista. Feel free to follow. I love more followers. I follow back too. So the thing about social media, I'm a very reserved person. I don't like to share many things about myself. On my actual Instagram, I only have like 4 posts. I don't think I'll ever post again. But like when I have an account like this, where not everyone except my close friends really know who I am, it's like I can show other people what I have, like what my passions are. It's a great feeling to like finally get all this feedback, all these comments saying like how much people like my drawings. And I didn't expect people to like my drawings that much. I thought just like, oh, I just use Instagram to journal my drawings, because on Instagram it can say the dates, the specific dates of each drawing when you post them. So that's how I like kind of proved to myself that this was a journey rather than like doing all 10 portraits in like 1 week. You could see how spread out it was. And that's another thing about my senior project. It's not like building a bow or like making a song and then you're finished. Like it's like saying I make 1 portrait and I'm done. No, like I have to keep on doing many different portraits at a time to keep it ongoing. So that was like kind of a difficult part of this, because like I get very lazy at times and I get busy with schoolwork and other extracurricular activities. So I still made it though. I know it says 12 posts on this Instagram account, but I made it to 16. My goal was 15, so I'm glad I made it. So my second sub-EQ was how do people react to receiving their portrait. So as you can see on all the pictures, they're pretty happy. I was really pleased with how people given people their portraits. Just the thing about like drawing portraits of people, like I'm very self-conscious about my own art. It's like kind of an artist thing. Like we always say like, oh, we're not good enough. We just say these small things about every drawing that we don't like about it, and like sometimes I'll be drawing a person and just think to myself like, oh, this doesn't really look like them. Oh, I messed up this area. They're not gonna like it. But of course that's not the case, because when I give it to them, they end up loving it. So I think really the thing about it is like having confidence in yourself and having confidence to give it to the person. Because at the same time I'm self-conscious about my art, I'm still excited to give it to the person. Because like even though there's certain aspects I don't like about it, there's a lot more that I do like about it that makes me want to actually give it to them. But also like when I draw portraits of people, it kind of makes me feel a little closer to them in a way that like I have a picture of them and I'm like examining their features, and drawing like a person that you know in real life, you see every day, you talk to, it's so much more fulfilling than just like drawing like a person on Google for like reference. It's just a different experience because this is my first time drawing like people that I know in real life. So my sub-EQ number 3 is the self-love and self-discovery aspect, like how do our hobbies and our interests tie in together with our growing self-love. So based off of the research I did, they all said pretty much like very similar things, like whether it was like a cute website with like floral wallpapers, or if it was like a PDF document from a university with like 120 pages. Like I skimmed through all of them and they all said like the same things to the very core, but like main things I got from all of them were these right here. So one of them was positive thinking, how if you have positive thinking, you can really help encourage yourself every day. I know, it's a very cliche thing to say, always look at the glass half full rather than half empty, but it's a true thing. I've actually tried to do a little bit myself. I wish I did it more, but I just try to wake up and just try to have a nice day. If something bad happens, just think about what actually happened. It's about looking at the big picture overall in the grand scheme of things, because the way we like reflect on life and the way we reflect on ourselves is really based off of how we see the world. So if you see the small things that you don't like in everything, like if you go to prom and you're like, oh, I hated my dress, the DJ was awful, but you still had a fun time at prom, like you're only thinking about the bad things. But if you think about the good things, like how much fun you had during your moments, you can remember it as a good moment. So it's all about the way you memorize things, because you can trick yourself into thinking you had a bad time, but if you ignore those things, you can really remember things as how great they really were. And also that really reflects on how you view yourself. If you see the flaws and everything outside you, you'll see the flaws in your own self. And you gotta see the positive sides and everything, and that'll help you see the positive sides of yourself. Alright, next thing I saw was challenging yourself, growing as a person, because when you incorporate your problem-solving skills, it grows you intellectually and as a person, of course. And then next was your interpersonal skills versus your intrapersonal skills. So your interpersonal skills are how you relate to other people, how connected you are, and how easy you make other friends. And then your intrapersonal skills is how you view yourself and how connected you are with your own self, how comfortable you are. And I'd say like even though these two skills are separate, they're not completely separate. Like they go hand in hand. So by increasing your interpersonal skills, like by talking to other people, getting comfortable around new people, you start to become more comfortable with yourself, and vice versa. Like if you have confidence in yourself, then you'll feel more comfortable talking to other people. And then tying this to my own self, my self-love connection. So my AOK and my EQ, how do they connect? So my AOK, I remember, was doing the portraits, and then my EQ was how does doing portraiture relate to self-love? So I'd say for this, it's definitely more of a personal thing for me. So by doing the portraits, to me, it makes me feel more, by doing the portraits of other people, it's more fulfilling to me. Like doing portraits is, in a way, showing love to myself. Because one of the great ways to show self-love is doing the things you love to do. Because when I looked up on Google search, like the basic definition of self-love is one's awareness and recognition to their own happiness and their own goals. So by doing like your own hobbies, that's basically loving yourself, and I think that's a great thing to have. So overall, my challenges, of course, was definitely finding an outside expert. I had 2 times where I had trouble finding an outside expert. One of them was someone my mom knew about, but it happened that person passed away during the course of the year. And then the next attempt was someone I saw online, and she made beautiful self-portraits, and she talked about how doing portraiture of herself helped her overcome obstacles in her depression. But I sent her like 10 emails and another 6 messages through Instagram for her to finally say no. So that kind of sucked, but I'm glad I had my glove as my senior project mentor. And also my improvement. The best way to see your improvement is comparing your first and your last. And in this case, it's very true because, I mean, I liked my first one at the time for what it was, but if I compare it to this new one, I can still definitely see a difference. Like, I'm better at making the drawings actually look like the person, and also I'm better with the shading, and also completing the backgrounds, and also the filling. And also, if I were to do this again, I would definitely start earlier. I wouldn't procrastinate like I did, kind of. But also, I'd like to incorporate more color. So I'd like, instead of just coloring the backgrounds, I like to actually use like colored pencil or paint maybe. And also use a more diverse group of people. So instead of doing like high school girls, and I do like guys too, and I'd also do adults and young children. And my future plans, I continue to do this for as long as I want. And please take my cookies, they're like right down there. I'll bring them up on the table. But they took 8 hours to make, to frost them. There's 80 cookies in there, but I put 2 to pack because they're really small. And thank you, friends and family. Thanks, Liz and Grace, for making the cookies. Thank you, Mike Lovell, for everything. Thanks, Ms. Nardino, for helping me pass this class. And you're an awesome physics teacher. Thank you to the audience, all of you watching, and thank you to the panel.